Good day, lords and ladies of the internet. This is your captain speaking, the Parafox Archangel, the English gentleman of the skies. And today, we're back in sunless skies. So, what's our tasks? Well, we have a quest to talk to the people at the circus about what happened in the Hybras. But we need to earn some more reputation with them in order to do so. So, what's the plan with that then? Well, because it's probably still going to take a little bit of time, we're going to head to Carolon. No, we're going to head to Leadbeater, hand over the research, head to Titania, buy some cloister nectar, come back, put in our port reports, head to Polymer and Plenty's circus, go to Magaline's, put in the cluster nectar, go to Port Prosper, and head to Albion at long last. It's going to take a while, but we're ready for it. So let's all go ahead and go. I probably should have bought some fuel and supplies, but Leadbeater's does sell both, so it doesn't matter as much. And besides, he may actually give us some fuel and supplies too. I'm also able to level up. Again. Don't have many options, though. Which is kind of annoying. I was enjoying having options. There's not many. So I think I should wait till Albion to level up. Because of the simple fact, hey, you never know. We might get new options when we head to Albion. We still want a lot of money so we can get the bigger and better train. The one which has basically 20 hold, when ours has, what is it, 18 and 19 at the moment? 19. And that's with the upgrades. Here we are, Leadbeater's Reserve. Glorious. So, now we head on over to the base of research, and we start turning in our research. We unfortunately did not get the mushroom, apparently of which I have one. I don't know how, but I do. So here, have your Tanaki stomach. You are thanked for your efforts. The Planitia Research summons you to his home to offer you payment in the fruits of his research. He has temporarily abandoned his laboratory, which is filled with incessant smoke. A distressing business, he says. The stench of their innards is encrusted in my nostrils. Understandable. Hand in the petal. Eventually, the researcher requests you to visit his cabin. An orchid similar to the Titanian blossom, but for its size sits on the table. Perhaps Titania is the orchid, he muses. It is an orchid, at least. Be sure to return in 15 days. No. This is the last he's seen of us. For at least a while. Do I need cheap bronzewood? No. Bronzewood is heavy. It uses more fuel. Only way I'll get bronzewood is if I find it. Which is entirely an option that could happen. I didn't make a port report. The Christ is wrong with me? Oh, hello, bronzewood. I was just talking about how I would only grab you if I found you like this. What's this? Titania is under siege. Cloister bees flood its streets and petals. The thrashing of their wings is the drumbeat of the apocalypse. And the people flee in panic from their mighty stingers. But there is no safe harbor and no respite. All is lost. All hands, ready your weapons. Fire, God, fire! Silence and space of half an hour. Plainsong drowns the lamentation and the fury in the mind. All the world joins death hymnal. Those who proudly defy their fate, and those who beg for wretched mercy, those who raise their arms, those who buckle their knees. The cloister hive takes the lyrics of poets, yet unwritten, and the unsung songs from lips now forever silent. It is only iron and fire that quiet. Lo, the song ends only by its own accord. Once the nectar is gathered, the hive departs, and there is a lasting silence. Well, the port unfurls itself, welcoming you ashore. Little remains of the port now that the hive has departed. The crystal domes are cracked. The buildings beneath them lie in ruins. Survivors pick through the rubble for salvage, while a philosopher proclaims on the nature of destruction and rebirth. The more practical poet glares daggers in their direction as they attempt to rebuild. The damage from the cloister hive doesn't appear to have dampened their mood. The mayor looks relieved to see you. Ah, Captain, perhaps you can help settle a little matter for us. We've agreed that we need to choose one style and stick with it, but... She sighs, gesturing at her fellow council members, the melancholy poet and the stone-faced sculpture. Well, we find ourselves at an impasse. Let's see. This is none of your business. You can return later to help make a decision. Advocate for the Albion style. A little slice of home in the reach, says the stone-faced sculptor. A sturdy rock from which we can help guide the future. Advocate for the Eleuthian aesthetic, her dark beauty, the lure of classic and pagan. The melancholy poet almost cracks a slight smile. What inspiration we must draw from that horror. Well, I've never been to either place, so... Oh, and there's nothing else here. Well, you're selling cheap souls, which is good and all, but... I'm just gonna send out the bat a few times to use up my supplies, because I need the... Alright, bat can't find anything. We'll just go to the one thing it found then and use it. And we pray it's not just a random item. Ah, it's more bronzewood. Well, that's mildly awkward. Well, now I need to use my fuel to make sure I've got the inventory space for that extra... Oh, hello, cloister bees. Maybe you'll give me nectar for free. Right? Send someone out to recover the nectar. Oh, god damn it. Again, some sovereigns, but no nectar. Fine. I'll use those sovereigns to replace the crew member back at New Winston. It was worth a try. Should I stop by Carolon? I guess it's just a free port report. And I'm going north anyway. There we go. One port report in Carolon. Am I actually able to do anything around Carolon? Like, go to these places I haven't been to yet? No, I don't have a stained soul, or a clear soul, or a flickering soul. Guess I just don't have a soul. So what's this going to be? Ah! 2 hull. From when I crashed into Carolon on my way out. Thanks. I could sell fuel for more than the cost that it would take to repair that damage. I wonder if I should attack and loot some Tacites. On the... if there is any. I mean, they gotta have something nice, right? They always seem to. Hello, Tacites. That's right, shoot your friends in the back. That makes things easier for me. Da-di-da-di-da-da-da. I'm gonna loot your friend. Da-da-di-da-da-da. He's gotta have something nice. I gained 1 fuel. 1 fuel is rather weak, actually, if you don't mind. So if you would not mind having something a little more valuable, Mr. Tacity. 1 bronzewood. That'll do. That'll do. That's all that's needed to fix my hull. It's fun being a pirate. And we only lose reputation if we actually hand in the mangled Tackety nameplates as well. I mean, they kind of already hate me because of, well, this. But yeah. This is when we learn somewhere like... whatchamacallit. Leadbeaters wants bronzewood, isn't it? And I'm meant to be heading to Albion today. I am heading to Albion today! That is not an option! Right, so... bizarre prospects. You want 5 stained glass panes in Titania? No. And Port Prosper wants souls. You know what? That works, because we're going to be heading to Port Prosper to go to Albion, and we're heading to Magaline's before that to sell off the nectar, and Magaline's holds the location you can buy souls at. So it all works out. Now let's hire 2 crew. Hire 2 to 3 crew. Requires 40 sovereigns, because it's bloody expensive to hire people, apparently. Then we go to the Victoria Market, sell our bronzewood, like so, and then we buy 2 doses of fuel and 1 dose of supplies. Then I think we'll probably be good. Because we don't need upgrades. I kind of want to save any money I would use for upgrades for when we get to Albion. Because I'm pretty sure they'll sell different stuff. So to the circus! You know, I also have to wonder, considering this is something like part 12 and we're only heading to Albion this episode, does that mean I have either wasted too much time or what the actual living hell is this thing? In sky suits and spore masks, your crew holds a porous asteroid aboard. The top half is veiled by mesh fungus like minty coralline, linchin of all stuff. Okay, harvest the linchin, study the linchin, reduce our terror, of which we do have a bit, but we are heading to Caroline, so it doesn't matter. Study the fungus, I think. Gained a vision of the heavens. Okay. Okay, I can accept that. Okay, Mr. Circus. Obviously, you're gonna let me buy more tickets, aren't you? Yes? Let's listen to the stories of the circus to reduce our terror. What a nice reduction. I think that was 10%. We'll go to the bazaar, sell off the literature, because that was the main reason we were here. Gain a savage secret. Thank you, that's very nice. Oh, there's nectar here we could have bought. For cheaper. God damn it. So let's go to the circus. We're going to write a port report for if we ever head back to the Reach. Purchase tickets to the circus. And then we are going to enjoy the amusements and lose 5% terror. The midway calls. At first glance, the circus is in poor shape. The second glance reveals how much worse things are than that. You try the battered mushrooms and realize why they have yet to take off as a beloved snack. Attempting to dispose of the bag, you duck behind a stall and find a pile of them already waiting. Another visitor pokes their head around. Is this where the bags go? She asks and deposits her own with the rest. Speak to the ringmaster. He puts on a good face for the customers, but he's clearly troubled. The ringmaster looks relieved to see a familiar safe. Oh, thank God. I think that's meant to be God. We've got a show to put on. One of my biggest acts is throwing a tantrum. No. He pauses, toying with his exquisitely managed moustache as he looks you up and down. I don't suppose you've considered stepping into the ring yourself. I think I'd be better as a lion tamer, because that sounds like irons. And I'm good at irons. Offer your services as a lion tamer. Whip in hand, you stare down the circus. One remaining lion. It makes it clear that when it comes to meat, there is meat that it respects, and meat it does not. Afterwards, the ringmaster claps you on the shoulder. Excellent. Well, terrible. Never do that again. But please, come see me behind the tents. Go behind the tents. Beyond the performers and the permanent audience, the circus is deserted. Everyone keeps to their quarters unless they're practicing the show. Despite the cantaloupe music, the mood back here is closer to that of a mausoleum. Well, there's a lot of people to talk to. Ask the humiliated magician about the Hybris. The humiliated magician sighs as he inspects your playbill. That pair of rogues? It would be an insult to call Chinnery everywhere. It would be an insult to Chinnery everywhere to call them charlatans. His shoulders shake. sink. I would know. He stands and walks over to a cabinet in the far corner of his cabinet. He opens a small drawer and produces a slim, heart-shaped key. There's a locked suitcase in my old house in Port Prosper. It has a red door near the station. If you could fetch that for me, I would be able to help you. It has my old stuff in it. Well, we're heading to Port Prosper anyway, so... I mean, we're clearly not going to come back, but... Who do I actually have on this ship right now? The Pinnacle Factor. I really feel I should probably stop her to complete their quest before I head to Albion. I mean, they don't want to be in another reach of space before doing God knows what before anything happens, do they? Here we are at Magaline's. We go to the bazaar and sell our nectar for double what we paid for it. We get some Stalin Shoot gossip, and lose our fear. That's nice. Oh, we can't actually buy anything from here, in the terms of the marketplace. Anything in the keepsake market? Ooh, an unlicensed chart. Huh, I wish you'd given me one of those earlier. Alright, we're done. Off to Port Prosper. We are now without terror. Good way to start going into... A good way to start when you want to go to Albion, isn't it? Oh, there we get our terror back. You know, we're only 3,000 gold off the... Or 3,000 sovereigns, I should say, off the bigger ship. That's really not that much. Hello, Port Prosper. Let us start by selling you your souls. There we go. You got no bargains available, that's a thing. Then we need to write a report. Then we find the humiliated magician's house. Props and spirit cabinets line the musty hallways. Faded posters depict the magician's noble countenance as he prepares to embark on another daring adventure into the occult. Not for the faint of heart, the Pinnacle Factor finds much to roll her eyes at. You find the battered suitcase underneath a large tabby cat. It yowls sleepily. The cat could belong to the magician, or could have just crept in here for a nap. A garnet-studded collar reads, Monsieur Francours. It looks up at you expectantly. Bring the cat with you along with the suitcase. The humiliated magician said nothing about a cat. The cat may be pleased to be put into a confined metal box shooting across the sky. You know what? We'll bring the cat back. The Pinnacle Factor gives you a look of abject disbelief when you ask her to find a suitable box to carry the cat in. Monsieur Francours proves to be an amicable traveller, however, and purrs all the way back to your locomotive. Your cook is less than thrilled of having another mouth to feed. I mean, the cat looks cute. Ish. A messenger greets you at the station. He has a stubbed pink face, immaculate hair, and a natural born butler. He holds a play card with your name on it. Okay. The messenger explains that he is, as you already guessed, a butler. His master has heard much of you about your exploits and is desperate to meet you. He hands you a card with an address. You recognize it as a neighborhood of particular wealth and prominence. You can now visit the bleak industrialist's estate. You now have one cryptic benefactor. Okay. Let's see what this is all about. The estate takes up half a street. The mansion itself is a grandiose structure with Vietnamese windows, a cupola, columns in Platadan style, but the garden is tangled with weeds. Muddy water pools glumly at the bottom of the disused fountains. The industrialist receives you in one of his drawing rooms, sitting with a rum glass beside a fire. He has a sour cast to his mouth, and eyes that blaze with indiscriminate loathing. Ask why he sent you. Before he answers, he knocks back the rum in a single gulp and calls for his butler to fetch another. There is a distant kingdom where the dead can be found. The industrialist's voice is hoarse with disuse. I need an enterprising sort, such as yourself, to visit it for me and retrieve someone. It should be a simple enough affair. In return, I will pay you a small fortune. Who does he want to bring back from the dead? Some years ago, I lost someone dear to me, he says. A world without her in it is worthless, miserable. I need it back. The bleak industrialist has asked the impossible. He wants you to bring back his lost love back from the kingdom of the dead. Share the story of your own loss. You too have lost a love. Unlocked with past lost love. Ooh! Yes! Let's share the story. Let's see what happens. As you tell your story, the industrialist's hateful glare melts. He weeps silently at first, but by the end he is racked with convulsive sobbing. Finally, someone who understands, mutters the industrialist when he has recovered, dabbing his eyes. Thank you. London has an embassy in the Blue Kingdom. A place called Sky Burnett. I cultivated a contact among the diplomats who I hoped would help me, but he proved useless. Maybe you'll get more value from him than I could. There is no further conversation. The industrialist retreats to his quarters. You have agreed to bring the industrialist's lost love back from the kingdom of the dead. He has a contact in Sky Barnet who can help you. Find her. Well, isn't this the way to the Blue Kingdom? Yes. Yes, it is. Isn't going to the Blue Kingdom literally a death sentence? I don't think we're going there yet. Let's just go back to the circus for now. I love how I've gotten to the point where I literally don't care about marauders, because they have literally no wealth I can gain from them. Return the humiliated magician's suitcase and what might be his cat. Monsieur Francis has been, all things considered, a very well-behaved passenger. The magician's eyes widen as he sees Monsieur Francis. He takes the cat with trembling hands, who purrs briefly before jumping to investigate the caravan's cupboards. I never expected to see him again, the magician says. I didn't have space for him when I left. Thank you. He turns his attention to the suitcase. Inside are faded posters, playbills, and photographs. This is Marzipan and me. The magician holds up a photograph of two gentlemen in coat and tails. We were apprenticed under Monsieur Pleats. This is before the hollow arrived, and he shakes his head. At last he unearths a small vial of amber liquid. Take the vial. The humiliated magician holds it out to you. The glass is crystal, the color deep and resinous. It catches the candlelight, gleams golden in your hands. Prisoner's honey, says the humiliated magician. My last batch, from old London. Marzipan and I used to dream together. This was before the hollow, of course. With her confounded glass, he sighs. No, I have wasted enough breath on that one. Take a few sips of this next time you're in Hybris. Find somewhere comfortable to sleep. You'll see your colonists again. Are you telling me I have to go to Hybris again? Seriously? I'm heading to New Winchester first. I need fuel. 2 crates of nostalgic crockery. That means I can go to Port Avon. God damn it, I'm meant to be heading to Albion! Okay, Port Avon. Here is your final crockery. I've gained fortunes with the Tacites, lost fortune. Gained fortunes with the stovepipes, lost it with the Tacites. As I expect. Right. I could buy hours, but more importantly, I need to buy fuel and supplies and all of that. Then I am going to use some of my welcome in order to lose some terror. I don't know how much welcome I still have, actually. 7. Well, 9, actually. Well, 8, sorry, actually. And now, 10. Okay. And now my terror has fallen enough. So, we have both fuel, and we have both supplies. Let's go to the Hybris, figure out whatever the crisis going on, remember to make a port report, head to the Hybris, complete quest, go back to New Winchester, probably to hand in all of our port reports, head to Magalines, reduce our stress, go to Albion. That's our 6 tasks. And then in Albion we're gonna find London. For whatever it's gonna do. Also, we kill Tanakis because they give us supplies. Good source of supplies, too. The hell is this? An abandoned signal box. Since when did this exist? I don't remember there ever being a signal box here. Alright, this ought to be good. The borrower's breath. Orange fog rises around your locomotive. The air acquires an acoustic copper tang. Your driver complains they can't see a damn thing. The borrower's breath, they murmur. The fog persists all day. That evening, an old crewman visits your cabin. The borrower below is displeased, he informs you. She expects a sacrifice. If you wish, he will arrange it. No. Decline. Find your own way through. You take the helm and order half steam. Your engine crawls forward, vast shapes looming around you like giants in the fog. Sky rocks, ancient ruins, slumbering leviathans. You steer a precarious course between them. After an hour, the air clears. The fogs part like a music hall curtain, and the stage of the sky is revealed ahead. You are free. For now. Screw you, God! You can't handle the Parafox, Archangel! I don't care if you are displeased with me. I am the Parafox Archangel. We're now in Marauder territory. And we don't care. Because Marauders can't do crap to me. Especially that one, apparently. Its engines look busted. No. We are heading to the Hybras. We are going to figure out what happened to the Hybras. And that's all there is to it. Goodbye, Marauders! I swear, the music has to mean there's a horror nearby. I've just never seen it because I always hug the wall. Unless that's the horror it's talking about. I doubt that's the horror it's talking about. Please let this be the final quest. I've been playing for an hour now. I want to head to Albion, but there's just so much I need to do still. Of course this is here. Why would I have it easy? It's a good thing they don't hit very hard. Well, I should say it's a good thing I'm okay at dodging. Either way, they just gave me the money to repair my hull either way, so it's fine. Oh, and there's another one to repair our hull with. Even the little bit of damage I just did to it by ramming into that. I swear I can English. Hello, Hybras. It's good to see you. Let's join the crew. No, let's search for Bronzewood. We don't find any. And there's no penalty. Oh, it's worth a 50-50 chance then. Alright, let's write a report. It's still absolutely deserted. Let's take the prisoner's honey. You locate a comfortable armchair in the Brinigan and pour yourself a small measure of the honey into a little teacup after you've cleaned it of the mushrooms. The pinicky factor has refused to partake. I'll keep watch. Besides, I don't know where it's been. You dream of a revel in the forest, a real forest with trees and vines. Young men and women run through the trees, laughing and dancing, while serpents look from the branches. A large woman serves you tea. A straight-backed, offious lady invites you to play cricket. She is mean, a mean batsman. They do not speak of former times. Their voices ring in your ears as you wake. Your terror has fallen. Huh. Okay. The colonists' houses are dark and there is no sign of a soul about. Okay. Do I want to tell them the truth or conceal it? I say... we'll tell her the truth. What's the problem? The pinicky factor looks up from her tea when you wake. Didn't let it steep long enough, she sighs. Was the magician right? Her eyes widen as you begin your explanation. She sits in silence for a long while when you finish. So the colonists made a bargain with the serpents behind the glass. I can't help but wonder if we're... She shakes her head. London looks after its servants. Should you need assistance in the future, I'll put in a word. She intends to remain on Hybris for a little longer yet. and will not be departing with you. Well, we got rid of that liability. Let's scavenge the place for fuel and supplies. We gained one too many of what we needed. Of course. What happens if we wander Hybras? Absolutely nothing. What's at the shops? Oh, we could buy munitions. We don't need to buy munitions. Let's jettison a fuel. And be on our way, please. We have a lot of supplies. We've got a dead Tanaki. We can get an uncanny specimen, apparently. Of which I have 11. Jesus, I have too many. Head to New Winchester. Next job. New Winchester. Sell crap. Put in port reports. Head to Magalines. Remove any and all terror we possibly could have. Then, Albion. It's only been an hour. We still have time. Also, I really wish we didn't have to just jettison the fuel. Couldn't we refuel our fuel tank, then jettison the excess? That seems the more logical thing we should be allowed to do. I wonder if the Taketes reach fortunes of 0 whether they've lost the war. I mean, I already have an achievement for upsetting the balance of power in the Reach, so... Although that was probably just from completing the quest. Hello, New Winchester. It's good to see you again. I'll be back with you in a moment. I just have port reports I need to hand in. Deliver the port reports. Thank you very much. 500 gold and nice and glorious. We have no terror right now. Probably because we technically docked with New Winchester. Even though we didn't. The Taketes retreat. New Winchester reels from recent events. The more free-spirited citizens are keeping a low profile, while Company House, head office of the Winwood Company, bristles with London flags. The Colonial Assembly, the closest thing the Taketes have to leadership, has fled the port. You piece together gossip from tea rooms and pubs. For if I learn more. The Taketes are struggling. The Winwood Company, those dreadnoughts on loan from London, prowl the Reach, have them outgunned. At the Victory Hall, the indolent veteran regretfully argued that New Winchester was no longer a safe location for the independence Narsane government. The Assembly voted in her favour, and its members evacuated the port in a chaotic exodus. If you have business with them, you'll need to travel to their new headquarters in Lustrum. This change in the balance of power will affect encounters, discoveries, bargains, and prospects in the Reach. For example, the Taketes retreat means fewer independent miners to compete with, and more hour-laden skyrocks for you to claim. Ooh. That sounds nice. You know, if I was staying in this place. I now have 10 grand. I almost have enough. Oh, it's 16,000, not 12,000. Welp, I am over halfway there. Follow the sound of commotion. The mid-morning calm is shattered by ferocious yelling in the distance. The psalmists are causing trouble again, shouts the passing urchin joyously. What now? Chapel Street is lined with gleaming churches, dedicated to every conceivable deity, sect, or heresy, and there is a corner of the Chapelette Street nestled between the crematorium and the tobacco shop, where the city's least popular temples have been segregated. On this grubby and profane little corner, a group of yellow-collared vicars are trying to make themselves heard above the ferocious yelling of a gaunt priest. The psalmists seem to be getting into an unholy row with the new sequencers. As you approach, the psalmists pull their ramshackle church and charge. These two probably... These are probably the most despised cults in New Winchester. It doesn't matter who wins, but it promises to entertain. You'll bash heads together until they settle down. Attempt to mediate this dispute. You can't imagine what common ground exists between a cult who revere biblical curses and a cult who worship Albion's son, but you'll find it. I'm gonna just go with bashing their heads in. They have rewarded me evil for good. When it comes to a fight, the cultists are a sorry lot. You barely work up a sweat. By the time the constables arrive, the psalmists and sequencers are sitting around nursing their bruises. This again? One of the constables pinches the bridge of her nose. She pulls a slip of paper from her pocket and hands it to the psalmist's head priest. We're shutting the church down, effective immediately. You've been nothing but trouble since you arrived. The priest stares at the paper. He sits heavily on the church doorstep. You've been asked to ferry the 13th psalmists to Whitewell in the Blue Kingdom. No! Screw off! Okay, fine. Just know we're not going to be heading there for, like, ages. Because we're heading to Albion first. Which is where we're now going. Here we are, back in New Prosper. With only 4% terror, we are about to fill up our stores with supplies, and fuel, and everything we need to possibly survive a journey to the center of Albion, assuming we don't start there immediately, which for all I know we actually might. And you know what? I guess I can buy some... No, I won't buy some seeds while I'm there. Who knows what I'm going to encounter at the edge there. Over there. I should probably hire you just so that you've been hired. Yeah. That'll do. Right. Right! It's time for us to go there. Go somewhere new, somewhere unexplored, somewhere where there's much terror and wonder to be waiting. Let us head to Albion. Present yourself to customs. Every relay is on the hunt for contraband. If there is contraband, I don't know that it's there. Present yourself to customs. I don't have contraband, so the pinched-face inspector boards the ship with their retinue. Come on, hurry up. If you've got nothing to hide, you've nothing to fear. Their mouth cracks into something almost, but not entirely, like a smile. Nothing from me, at least. You've got nothing to hide and nothing to fear, and nothing to declare. The pinched-face inspector almost looks disappointed at having to give you a clean bill of passage. Such a waste of time, they mutter, stamping the customs form. Go on, no reason to take up space here. Your business here is concluded. It's time to continue your adventures in the high wilderness. Return to your engine. Right! Let us travel to Albion. First class, then! A stone Ephesus, signalant with signals, is encased in a contraephysus of steel and brass. This is the Singh-Jenkins relay, allowing transport via a loophole in the cosmic mandate across the sunless wastes to a far-flung distant district of heaven. This one leads to Albion, the heart of the new British Empire and the seat of her renewed majesty, Queen Victoria. First class is reserved for those on imperial business. You will need the appropriate paperwork. Here you go. Oh, I actually need a Ministry of Stamped permit in order to actually just travel there in general. Huh. Okay. Also, it reduced my terror. At the sight of your papers, the superintendent jumps to activate the relay. It's our looms rumble, spinning the pocket of new time in which your locomotive will make its journey. Wrapped in your engine's new coat of hours, it will be hard to say how long the journey takes, but the hours used by the imperial officials are languate and seasoned. The passage should be at least tolerable. The machinery grinds and stirs. The steam vents and sigils of the Ephesus burn with sullen fire. A force like a hand seizes your engine. The passage is less pleasant than you had hoped. A crewman swears he saw something vast stirring in the deep skies, and raves about a many-eyed borrower to any who will listen. Ooh! Ooh! What's going on here? Oh, that's cool! And away we go! We just teleported! We just teleported! So note to self, when I'm next in the Reach, get a... Okay, well, hi. So, I am in the middle of nowhere. Although this place looks freaking bloody awesome. Now, obviously, there has to be a dock nearby, right? This place does look very cool, though. Brabazon Workshop. Work World. Let's just send out a bat very quickly. See? I knew there had to be a dock nearby. I saw something floating over here. Are you hostile? Are you friendly? Oh, you look like a dreadnought, which means you're friendly. Little Nice. What a nice little name for a place. A new port captain. Your crew crowd the windows. The bit between. Where are we? The bit between. Brabazon Work World. The officials of Brabazon never bothered to formally name this waypoint. Captains dock here to pick up goods or deliver workers. It is not a place to linger because of the proximity of accelerated time of the work world. Huh. Okay. Well, you're selling munitions, thanks to the fact I'm a villain. You sell crockery! Originally, so I wish I'd known that originally. Well, let's buy the munitions, just because they're cheap. What's the clay conductor? A hulking clay man in a heavy coat stands on the platform. The clay men were an underclass in old London. Very few of them came to the skies. This one holds an urn to his chest. You're a captain. You can perform funeral rites, he says, nodding to the urn in his arms. Then I want to travel. He pauses for a long moment. And then, as if feeling something more might be expected, I could help out on your engine. Recruit the clay conductor. Okay. Sure. You ask the conductor where he would like to hold the ceremony. He looks about, confused, as though he hadn't expected the question. At last he comes to a conclusion. Here will do, he says, indicating the crowded thoroughfare. You and a few of the more respectable of your crew gather for a brief funeral. Everyone has at least something in black. You offer the expected praisings before pausing for the elegy. The clay conductor shakes his head. You do it, he grunts. You know what? I'm gonna make him speak. There is a long silence. Your crew look at their feet, accurately aware of the awkwardness. The silence continues. Finally, the clay conductor speaks. He was a clayman. He travelled on Figaro. A pause. He was a good singer. The clay conductor looks at you. Where is your engine? I'm ready to assume my duties. Well then. We have a lot of officers. Apparently. Huh. So this guy's hearts and iron. Your hearts and mirrors. Your iron and veils. Fair enough. So there is a lot of tours and whatnot of this place, it seems. Travel to Little Nice. The governor... I should just read this first. Brabazon Work World, the first work world to be established in Albion. Working here, debtors can escape prison. They remain till their debts are repaid and a ticket away has been funded. The primary industry is that of hours processing, which has the side effect of accelerating time on the work world surface. The dock is between Brabazon Workworld and Little Nice, where the more privileged overseers reside. The dock is, for the captain's sake, nearer Little Nice than the Workworld. Unexpected aging would deter even the greediest captain from arriving. Huh, okay. Alright, we'll travel to Little Nice then. And what do we do here? Here is how we write the report. The overseers here work hard to ensure Little Nice remains perfect, from freshly painted fence curicles to the newly mown grass on the lawn. It's hard to get a sense of what's going on in Abrazian from your current curated surroundings. The overseers themselves are no use. They must have been briefed. Each gives you a clearly sanitized information. You only have to speak to 4 before you hear repetition. You will have to go down to the Workworld yourself to learn anything true about Abrazon. You cannot get a report on Abrazon Workworld from Little Nice. Okay, then. Huh. Then... does that attempt to converse with an overseer? I'm terribly sorry, I don't have permission to speak with you. The overseer is supervising a small group of workers loading crates onto the locomotive docked alongside your own. They are working slowly. He seems disinclined to rush them. You gain 2 Stysories. Okay. Join a tour of the Abrazon Workworld. The overseer requires information. No one can be sentenced to the Workworld without there first being evidence of a crime. Once you join the tour, you will not be able to leave until its end. Will you donate what you know to turn the wheels of industry? The workers are not yet rising up. I mean, I guess I can join a tour then? I lost a savage secret. The overseer listens intently to what you have to say. Useful, I think. We shall see what can be done. She directs you to group by a tour leader, who shepherds you all into a side room. The tour leader hands out thick cloaks to keep off the smut. The group covers itself. The hood lends one woman with her hair coiled up high on her head, an awkward shape and unexpected height. Satisfied, the tour leader begins briefing. As you know, time on the Workworlds moves more velociraptor something than it does outside. In order to exempt you from the effects, we've had the looms spin a fold of external hours to cover the tour. Please carry these carriage clocks. They will show you how much time your protection will last for. Please don't stray. He pauses for emphasis. It's crucial that you stay with the tour. If your time runs out, every minute it takes for us to realize could be hours for you. There is a flurry of anxious whispers. Once it has subsided, the group is led onto the Workworld. Your group is accompanied by 2 overseers. The overseer is bringing up the rear. The overseer bringing up the rear is a woman in her early 30s. She checks her carriage clock compulsively. Admire the rugs. Our first stop on the tour is the Abrazium Rug Weaving Workshop. The overseer beams and gestures for you to enter a building larger than any other on the street. An attractive young worker leaps up to greet you. This workshop was built thanks to the generosity of Lady something or other. Please admire our beautiful handcrafted rugs and weavings, exported for sale in London. Workers here gain skills that can support them for the rest of their days. The group of workers nods and smiles at you. One stands to better display their work. Another thanks you for your visit. The youth is the last to see you out. Perhaps I'll see you elsewhere in Albion. Admire the rugs. You've seen rugs like this in countless homes. They are cheap within the means of all but the poorest families. The handiwork is competent. Their predominant colours are black and gold, the Empress's favourite. Lions are popular, designs and unicorns and crowns. How patriotic. Your carriage clock ticks away. Now we head to the glass workers. A fascinating aspect of Abrazian is mutually beneficial relationship between this place and the workers. The overseer makes a sweeping glance. Make note of this smog. I'll explain more inside. The building you enter is heated by the vast furnaces of ovens. The workers are blowing molten glass. The smog prevents much of the sun's heat from reaching Abrazian. Without factories such as this, Abrazian would freeze. The workers keep the factories alive, the factories heat the work world, and it becomes a pleasant place to live. Here, work enriches life. Several of the group coo in admiration. One man boasts about his Abrasian glass collection. A young lady in gauntly finery turns to you. My parents paid for the main furnace to ensure that the poor would never go without. What did you fund? Confess you are not one of the donors. You are a locomotive captain traversing the wilderness, defeating horrors, delivering goods, but perhaps one day you will engage in charitable endeavors. Yes, I am that. The young lady blushes. So dangerous. So romantic. That sounds much more fun. Is it difficult? Perhaps my parents will buy me a locomotive. She seems bored for much of the rest of the tour. It seems the thrills of your profession outweigh the charm of the inherited virtue. Huh. The tour moves on through the upper layer of Abrasian, towards a refinery that belches heat like a dying dragon. Please line up, that's it. The overseer indicates alongside a long low window. It has been recently cleaned to the shrine. Inside, hard-working souls refine raw hours imported from the Reach. After this process, they may be spun into hour looms and put to use. He taps his carriage clock as an example. Peer through the window at the hour refiners. The refinery is clamoring, roaring space of long belches, sweating workers and rolling smoke. The overseer explains. The geodes containing the hours are cracked open, and the fibrous strands of salt-like time are separated with small chisels and saws. The men and women do the former work, children the latter. The filaments are then passed through a series of furnaces to remove impurities, which are, in turn, brushed away from an indigo slush. The slush is raked to ensure not even a stray minute is lost. Once the seconds and minutes and hours are extracted, they are seasoned, taken from a very high temperature to a very low one, and back. After this, the tangled clumps, the colour of the sky just before dawn or dusk, are carded and wound into spools in long filaments. The overseer raps sharply on the window. As one, the nearby workers look up, smile and wave. Huh. Linger and watch. After the tour moves on. What do they do if they haven't got an audience? No, I'm not risking that. Hurry off after the rest of the tour. They have moved swiftly. If you are separated from the tour, you might not be able to find your way back. The lead overseer is all concern and smiles when you rejoin the group. Given his care now, it is odd he didn't check you were still with them when they moved on. Perhaps what matters is only what can be reported back. Leaving the refinery behind, you turn through the streets towards the ceaseless ring of hammers. A short work, then you enter a busty line. Watch the rock break! How long is this tour? The tour leader adopts a noble frown. Unfortunately, not all work on Abrasian can be creatively fulfilling. We also produce raw components like gravel and arguments. You have looped back to the yard near the bit between. The second overseer is already there. Men and women, hard with muscle, bright in sweat, are breaking rocks with sledgehammers. They wear vests and breeches with cloth masks to keep out the worst of the dust. We equip our workers with safety gear, just in case prolonged exertion in this air might prove unpleasant. As you see, the regular exercise ensures they are strong and healthy. Many leave Abrasian with athletic inclinations and pursue fitness as a profession. A stout gentleman with a monocle sullies up to you. This whole place is just marvellous, eh? Kept busy while paying off debts. Given new skills in education. Simply marvellous. Agree. Why not? Marvellous. Every word. Evaluate. Well, on one hand, yes, but on another hand, no. On a third hand... You know what? I'm going with that one. His eyebrow rises so far that his monocle falls. There's always something better. That's easy to say. And do you have any suggestions for exactly what? He swells with hurt pride. I donate what I can, and I come to this ghastly place to ensure it's well spent. What more do you want? Complete the tour of the workshop. Work world. Oh, thank God. It's important we return in plenty of time, so I'm afraid we'll have to end the tour here. The lead overseer circles the group, shepherding the huddle between the door, back to the in-between. The tour ends. The second overseer takes a head count, a poor one, for she double counts twice before giving up. Nevertheless, she signals her partner to go ahead. I hope you appreciated our little tour, and we shall pass your thanks onto the workers of Vibrazion. Perhaps when they've paid off their debts, they'll see you again. The Overseer shakes his hands of the most preeminent donors. Of course, this entire endeavour is thanks to your generosity, he murmurs to them. While the group preens, he collects the clock hours. The Overseer who takes your spent carriage clock draws you aside. You're a Skyfarer, aren't you? We need someone without official connections to the Governor, to help us with a delicate matter. Okay, what is it? Wow, you're doing a lot. There are unsatisfied and unsavory individuals on the Brazen work world. They inveigle others to do their work so that they might have the time to plot. They are fomenting unrest. He shakes his head. It won't do. It just makes the other workers unhappy. Next time, see if you can sneak away from the tour. I hear their leader is looking for outside assistance. He winces. For once, time is on their side. They have so long to plan relative to us. If you hear anything, pass it to me. I'll be around. Okay. Suggest he does it himself. You are a visitor to this place. What the people do here is none of your concern. Tell him to go to the blazes. This place is an abomination. Revolution, if that's what he hints at, could only be for the best. Oh, God, no. This place actually sounds pretty nice. Make no promises. You won't reject him outright. If he is offering anything, in return? Will he make it worth your while? Accept with apparent delight. The work worlds are vital to London's industry. They keep debtors out of prison. Revolutionaries here are fools. Honestly, it's not bad. It's actually probably better than the current criminal justice system in many countries. As bad as that sounds. Make no promises. Thank you. I wasn't hoping for anything more definite. He smiles, but it's not a happy one. I'll be putting a case to the Governor. I'll make sure you're paid for any information that helps us quell unrest. Helps us keep the workers happy. He shakes your hand. Thank you. Come back to me if you hear anything. I'll be around. How do I make a port report? Oh. Converse with the Governor. Governor runs Vibrazion. In the absence of more direct control from London, he is powerful here. Ah, welcome. He stands to shake your hand. Always good to see a locomotive, Captain. Good to know the trade routes are still running. Do you smoke? He rummages in his desk. Oh, it appears I'm all out. My apologies. And I now have caddy tea. I mean, that's a way of doing something. The Governor's request. Vibrazion must be self-sufficient. Without industry to justify their lighting, our fires will go out. We must have work. His brow furrows. The workers refuse to understand that they live so long as they work. That is not a threat. It is a fact of living here. They require hope. Give it to them. Not enough to stir them into revolt, but enough to keep remain the fires lit. Okay. Well, doesn't look like there's anything else I can do here, so let's quit. Dump off some fuel, I guess. Even though I'm about to lose one. God damn it, I'd have been better off dumping off the other stuff. And let's try and head to east. If it lets me. It's not going to let me, is it? Well, for a start, Albion looks significantly different to the Reach. A lot more industrial. I love the appearance of it. I will be completely honest. It does look bloody awesome. Are you a marauder? Indeed you are. And you've got some big gun on you. Okay. London's End, Ahsoka notes. Or is it the beginning? I suppose it depends which way you're going. I am determined to find London. Let me guess, that's analyzing. Of course it is. Well, here are those supplies I was looking for. I'm gonna guess this massive thing here is London. Maybe. Because, I mean, it is quite near the centre, after all. Or that will be London. Whichever. I will admit, Albion looks significantly more industrial than the Reach ever did. London is built on a series of descending plates, the wealthier districts up above, the poorer ones down below, steeped in smog. That sounds about right, honestly. You have to go through some very tight corridors, it seems. Either that, or I've taken a completely wrong turn, or I'm taking a shortcut, one or the other. Oh look, there's trains going below us. Oh, that's a little bit of aesthetic right there. Wilton Company, Wilton Vinegar Lumber Company. Okay, what are you? The head office of lumber concern that imports bronze wood from the Reach. Okay, the Wilton Lumber Company operates primarily in the Reach, mining bronze wood and transporting it back to London for construction, furniture, and locomotive plating. The Wilton Lumber Company operates primarily in the... It's a loading platform frequented by brawny, wind-bitten men lugging slabs of bronze wood from the way. Take your leaf. The workers give you unsympathetic stares. They're trying to work. It ain't safe for tourists. Okay. I'm not welcome. Point taken. I'm not sure how to feel about London Albion right now. It looks absolutely goddamn awesome. But it doesn't seem very welcoming. Hey look, it's one of my trains! London is near. Well, we are here. The fortunate navigator smiles ruefully, as much of my other homes. Oh look, it's another one of my ships that's... another one of me that's docked as well. I'm guessing this is how we... settle in London? London! The Ministry monitors. St. Dominic's Station is thick with crowds. A brass band plays. The cause of excitement is unfamiliar locomotive in the imperial blue. A delicate gleaming craft whose elegant nose houses an array of sensors. A top-hatted official from the Ministry of Public Decency is delivering a speech. The first of the fleet of the new monitor-class locomotives. They will be Her Majesty's watchdogs, scouring the skies for the enemies of Albion. The crowd cheers. Well, most of them. Take a tour of the new engine. If you're willing to wait in line, you might be allowed a few minutes inside. The Monitor's hull is curved to deflect incoming rounds, but its plating is much lighter than that of a London dreadnought. The bridge is crammed with state-of-the-art sensory equipment. You put your eye to the main scope, and it flings your sight through the Monitor's precisely aligned lenses, and away to a distant stretch of sky. The stars are bright and close. You step back, bumping into a control panel. Careful, warns one of the watchful crewmen. That's the gun. Just one, you ask? He grins. Oh, she only needs one. Huh, alright. You may now encounter Ministry monitors while exploring. I mean, fair. Well, what's at the bazaar? I should probably take any and all prospects here. Just because it might take me to places as well. Also, I should probably sell my crap. Like these munitions, this bronze wood. I'm not selling the tea, because the tea goes in there so I can get close to Nectar to talk to the devil with. What type of ships do you sell here, then? The same class as the other type of class? Ooh, I can get a juggernaut. Ooh. I mean, that looks fun. Looks tough, at the very least. Ooh, and we got blue quality equipment here. Ooh, very nice. Fitted cupboards. +7 hull, uses the whatever the name that type of port is. Very nice. An aesolying device. Ooh. Ooh. I'm liking this place. Well, I'm in London, so I should be able to pursue my ambition here, but I have no... Oh, there it is, ambition. Meet the omnivorous publisher. You arrive at the publisher's new office, a gleaming building with an elevator, a courtyard, and an honest-to-goodness water feature. The omnivorous publisher strides down to meet you, followed by a platoon of assistants, lawyers, bodyguards, and hangers-on. There's my star, he cries, his hand clammily finding yours. Let me show you around. He takes you on a tour of his new office, dwelling particularly on the new presses, very modern, and the several life-size portraits of himself. Quite an excellent likeness, yes? When it finished, he claps your shoulder on and offers you the decaying approximation of a smile. Our hard work is really paying off, he says. I think it's about time you saw a share of the profits. Now tell me, where's the next canto? I'm pretty sure I'm owed more than 1,000. But let's see, is there anything I can actually write about right now? No, there isn't. I've got 1 out of the 3 gods scared, annoyed at me. I am a revolutionary at Bravazon. Okay. You've recovered one of the legendary wrecks. You must resurrect a boatman. Huh. It looks like we definitely have a load of things we need to write about, and things to do. So, everyone, it looks like this episode's probably gone on too long, but it looks like I'm all out of time for today's episode. So, what can I say other than thank you all for joining me today? I have been your host, the Parafox Archangel, the English gentleman of the internet, and I hope to see you all again next time. But I'm afraid that, until then, it is time for me to bid thee all farewell, good day, and finally, good night.